Hello, welcome. This is the Resilient Rooster. I'm back with another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today I'm going to be showcasing the Dinosaur Zombie. So what you want to do with this deck is basically to take advantage of Ultimate Tyranno Conductor. It's basically a 3500 beat stick that can attack all your opponent's cards once each, and it has a cool effect where you could destroy one monster to flip all your opponent's monsters face down. So it's a pretty strong card. You have a lot of ways to access it too. You have Oviraptor, which you can search it. Your Ultra Evolution can summon it from your deck, and usually can get this card off of the Overtext Kotal, so that's pretty cool. The Zombie engine is pretty straightforward. You basically try to use the Solitaire and the Unizombie, stuff like that. But for the most part, this deck probably wouldn't have worked if it wasn't for the Plant engine. The Plant engine is so good since it gives you access to Curious, and Curious basically sets your graveyard. It gets your Fairy Tale Snow to the grave. It makes all your plays just worth it. So this is the deck list right now. Feel free to make changes, and let's get right into the replays. In this first replay, I'm playing against Pendulum Magician, and they get to go first. So whenever you're playing the Zombie Dinosaur deck, all you really want to see is two cards, which is Lone Fire Blossom and just a random card. So these two hand traps that I have are basically my random cards. And these random cards was enough to basically stop my opponent since they didn't have any other follow-up plays. So with the Lone Fire, you have access to the Petal Plant engine, and the Petal Plant engine is very good since it gets you access to Brilliant Fusion. Maybe this engine will get hit, who knows. But right now, it's the best time just to abuse it before it gets hit or touched. So whenever you get the two Petal Plants, you make the Invoker, Mrs. Radiant, and all of this is pretty standard. But before you link up, you usually want to use your normal summon. That way you can get advantage of the Seraphonite's additional normal summon. So I was able to make the Minerva, and since they don't have any monsters, I was just able to have enough to attack for game since there's no cards on the field. This is the last time where I managed to use the Petal Plant engine successfully. I would say that this engine might get hit in some way or another, since not only do you get 3 cards that's Earth on the field to make Curious, but you also get a lot of cards to the graveyard, which basically helps fuel your Fairy Tale Snow. And Fairy Tale Snow is a very good disruptor on your opponent's turn. Book of Moon is at 1, but Fairy Tale is at 3. So in this example, I had Shiranui Solitaire as my normal summon, so I was able to use the Zombie engine. And this one, I sent the Spirit Master, that way when I banish my Spirit Master, I can target one face-up card on the field and destroy it. And this is where I basically set up my plays. I get 2 level 4s to make Omega, and I use my last Unizombie in the grave basically to ditch it, basically to make the Amaratu. And this is where Amaratu gets 2 disruption. You basically add, or you get your Ghost Ogre from the banish on the field to special summon on the field, and then you get your Ash to your hand. So basically you get 2 disruptors, and then you get the Omega. So I was able to successfully disrupt my opponent on this turn. And they couldn't really do much since they can't special summon BA monsters without their monsters destroying themselves. So I basically tried to bait out their back rows. I got the warning out, and now all I have to do is try to get the Phantom Knight Fogblade out. So I made Black Rose just to put it in face up attack mode, which basically baited it out since it would have been 0 attack. And I probably should have chained Fairy Tale Snow to destroy the Phantom Knight Fogblade. I'm not sure if it would have worked, but I would have at least wanted to see if it did work. And this is way enough for game, so I just attack. I would say one of the harder matchups for Dinosaur is basically any deck that has a lot of back row. Since you don't really main deck any spell trap removal, it's pretty hard to beat over those boards. My opponent had a very good established back row. They had access to a lot of cards that aren't very friendly towards my deck. They were able to get rid of my best normal summon monster. I mean, I did have the Lone Fire, but they would have been able to negate the Lone Fire, so I didn't feel there was a point of using the Lone Fire Blossom. I would have felt better if the Spirit Master was actually in my deck instead of my hand, because I wanted to get rid of Protocol, but Protocol is now there to stay, since I didn't have any ways to get rid of it besides like Tornado Dragon, but they can always negate that. I try to use my Lone Fire Blossom just to see what would happen, and of course, you know, they can just negate it too. And now they have like so many cards that they eventually just grind me down. They have a lot of cards over me. If I did have an Eling match, then maybe this would be better, right? But I think that their League Monster can negate trap cards too. and they might make it in this turn or not. Nope. But yeah, if they did, that would have probably been a better play for them. But I guess they didn't feel necessary since they had a lot of cards to get out of it. So my opponent, they had 5 cards on the field, and eventually there was just so many things that happened that I just lost count of what happened. They were able to get rid of the conductor, and all I have is 3 cards, and they keep getting advantage each turn. It was like a downhill battle at this point since I only had 3 cards, but none of them really do anything in the hand. I wish I had maybe Fairy Tale Stone with the Grave. That way I could get rid of the Spirit Master and hopefully destroy a card. But it didn't happen in this game. They finally made the Link Monster, so now they can negate spells and traps and monster effects. So it's like a mini lock. I drew into the Predator Plant Scorpio, but they have the protocol to negate it. So at this point, I don't think I had any chance of coming back. I would probably say the main trouble of playing a 60 card deck is you can play through a lot of things if you have an established graveyard. So in this case, my hand, it was pretty good since I had access to the Predator Plant engine, and so my opponent, they had the hand trap. But I felt like they sort of misplayed here. I felt they should have warning my Lone Fire Blossom, since if they did that, they would have been able to stop all my plays. Since I would probably maybe forced to use the Left Arm Offering, and they would have had the Ash for that. So I kind of got lucky in this game, but I was able to basically get a lot of stuff in the graveyard, which basically made summoning things a lot easier. I was able to have 2 dinosaurs on the field, which basically gives me access to making the Logia. But Logia can't really negate counter trap cards, so maybe they should have waited to use a warning on the Ultra Evolution Pill, so that way it would have stopped me from being able to summoning all my monster. Because right now this is a lot of monster, which is enough for a game, since Tyranno Conductor can already deal 2,000 on just face down cards, and the rest of these are way beyond the 6,000 lineup points that I had from warning. One thing I like about the Dinosaur engine is it usually can work on its own. Oviraptor is basically like a 1-card combo. In this case, it got Ash, but I had access to Gold Sarcophagus, which was able to get the Giant Rex, and I just made Doka. Doka is a good turn 1 to make since you can activate it twice per turn. Since you have 2 materials, you can get 2 things. I also had a lot of hand traps, which helped stop my opponents from doing anything. They tried to use all their cards, but I was able to basically disrupt them the entire way. They tried to use the Sorcerer, and I basically negated that too. So basically at this point, all I have to do is deal 8k of damage, but since I don't really have the other engines to work with, I have to just rely on the Dinosaur engine. Since Giant Rex can't attack directly this turn, I did not have enough to OTK my opponent, so they basically had 1 turn to survive. I did make another Oviraptor, but since it summons in defense mode, I wasn't able to win that turn. So this is the part where they try to go off, but as long as I have Conductor and I could put everything in face down defense mode, it should be good to go. Unless they run 2 Darks to make Supreme King Venom Dragon, it's kind of hard to out the Conductor. So at this point, they just surrendered. So that's it for the replays. If you enjoy it, please leave a like. If you want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh content, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching and have a great day.